Ryan, haven't you heard?
Heard what? You talking about like the plane that disappeared or something?
No. Well, that too, I guess. But it's my understanding everybody heard about the bird.
You mean like the bird? Like Vanderbilt? No, no one's getting right.
Oh, it's episode 29 of the Matt Ryan Show.
2-9.
We'll get more to about the bird, as in St. Signing a Pro Bowl safety, Mr. Bird himself.
As well as re-signing one of the fan favorites, Pierre Thomas, today on a 2-year extension. But first and foremost,
This is the reason for the show. Keith Fernandez, you requested it. We delivered. Without further ado, it is indeed the Vodka Field Goal Kicking Challenge. This is an interesting concept here, and we'll post a graphic here as we explain the rules. But what it comes down to is Ryan and I are going to start from 15 yards out.
nice little chip shot.
Chip shot and get warmed up. You get 3 misses. Now, if you make the first one, it's like an extra life. It's the green mushroom in Mario. Okay? And that'll give you 4. And then you can kind of go with that. Now, you only get 1 shot. There's no mulligans on the first one.
Nope.
And then we'll just go from there. And basically, it's who survives. And the rules are the amount of shots that you lose by, the amount of field goals that you lose by is the amount of shots of Breckenridge vodka that you got to take. By the way, we want royalties, Breckenridge vodka, for that.
Yep.
And
I'll be waiting for my check.
And at the end, the consolation prize is the loser. If he can make a field goal longer than the winner made, you get 1 shot off. So, we're trying to make it interesting for everybody. But the way I see it, Ryan, also, is there really a loser in this?
Not really, because one gets bragging rights, one gets vodka. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But anyway, without further ado, let's hit the field. Skills competition, but at least I redeemed myself with the distance. We got 1 of those shots off, but at the same time, I'll live up to it during the weekend because Ryan and I both did give up alcohol for that, but I didn't during St. Patrick's Day, so I'll live up to my bet then.
Je suis le champignon. That's for you, madame.
Je vais à la bibliothèque avec Jacques.
Avec Jacques. Où est c'est son?
You got it. Yes, these. Well, we don't have any markers.
No, no markers.
No markers this time.
But we do have a little bit of LSU baseball to talk about.
Yes, LSU is now 6 for 6 the day that we're filming this show. LSU going for 7 in a row tonight against the Southern Jaguars before they're heading into
a big weekend.
Big weekend. SEC play starts against number 4 Vanderbilt, and it's a top 5 matchup. And especially on Friday night, Ryan, 2 of the best pitchers in the country, 2 first-round picks, barring injury for sure.
You got Nola throwing against their
Tyler Beede,
Tyler Beede, their ace. It's gonna be a quiet but very interesting game on Friday night. I think it's gonna be a very low-scoring game. You know, LSU's bats haven't really woken up that much, and you're going against one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the NCAA. I mean, it's gonna be 2 first-round picks going at it on Friday night in Nashville. First and foremost, gotta take care of business against Southern tonight. I know we've talked earlier this week. Cody Glenn gets pulled from the weekend lineup this weekend. You've got Nolo on Friday, Bowman on Saturday, and Poche throwing on Sunday. I'm all for it. You know, Glenn's got a 4.45 ERA, and I think you said earlier, batters are batting what?
About 333. Something
And in the NCAA,
well over 300.
If you're giving up 300 plus as an opponent batting average, something's not going right. In the NCAA with the new bats and these new rules and everything like that, if you're giving up that kind of batting average, something's not right. So finally, Maneri, I guess, heard my prayers and pulls Glenn out of the starting lineup. He hasn't thrown this week on the mound. He's not throwing this weekend on the mound. But on a positive note, I'm excited to see what Bowman and Poche can do this weekend against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. We're looking for two things this weekend for sure. One is, can LSU get any offense going for Aaron Nola on Friday night against first team All-American? And then two, how are these two true freshmen going to do on the road in a hostile environment against one of the best teams they'll face all year for sure?
You know, I think we played Vanderbilt very well last season, and if I'm not mistaken, we're both returning quite a few starters, but I'm sure we also lost a lot of talent. And Vanderbilt, much like LSU, has been known in recent past for their defense, their pitching staff, and their field play. So like you said, Matt, I think that Friday night game with Nola and Bede on the hump, we can put up 3, maybe even 4 runs max. I think LSU can pull out a win on the series. I think it's all going to rely on Friday night, and if we can get momentum going into Saturday against their number 2, but nonetheless, it should be an interesting weekend. And I like what you said earlier. If we take 1 of 3, it won't be the end of the world. We'll still be sitting at 17 and 4 after this weekend.
I'd be mad, but
at the
it's
same
not
time,
the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. This
it's
is
on
the
road.
On the road and the opening of conference play. So we've got a lot to look forward to. But like we said last week, this will be the first big test, and then we can really see what LSU's baseball team really has moving forward as we move forward into the conference play.
Yeah, absolutely. LSU's going to need their A game. If they play the game they did against Louisiana Lafayette, it's going to be a long weekend for LSU.
Very long.
But we'll see. There's a lot of baseball left to play. But more positive news. Speaking of the Saints and the Bird itself, which we opened the show with, Jarius Byrd, Pro Bowl
3-time
safety.
3-time Pro Bowl.
Guy's still in his 20s. He's 27 years old. The Saints, I think, have finally found a ball-hawking safety for the first time since somebody that we won't mention because, he doesn't treat people right. And let's just leave it at that. Yeah, somebody said it best earlier. That situation with the Saints is going to be similar to what WWE did with Chris Benoit after he went crazy.
Yeah.
So
let's kind of cut ties.
Let's just leave it at that.
But one of our friends, Lee had said earlier, we're the new Seattle once we sign Jarius Byrd. I don't think we're the new Seattle.
Oh, we got a way to go to be that.
We've got a pretty solid D-line should they stay healthy. We've got 2 amazing safeties now in Jarius Byrd and Kenny Vaccaro. Now that Kenny Vaccaro's got a full year of experience under his belt. We've got Keenan Lewis on the outside. If we can get one more cornerback or maybe somebody to step up to replace Jabari Greer.
Yeah, Corey White will get that chance for sure.
He'll get that chance. Let's see if he takes it, or we look into possibly drafting a 3rd or 4th round pick as a starting cornerback. Our offense is going to click. PT, we re-signed PT. It's another 2 years. He'll probably retire in black and gold. He's getting a little bit older.
Yeah, he'll be, I think, 32 or 33, which these days and age, that's the retirement age for running back.
It sure is. I mean, we see Rashard Mendenhall after only 6 seasons retires.
He's still in his 20s. He'll save his knees at least.
Exactly. He'll move on to different opportunities and whatnot. But Pierre Thomas as the veteran back. We've got Mark Ingram, who's finally starting to shape up into the running back that we've all been wishing for, using was it a first round pick? First round pick. And of course, can't forget the dark horse himself, Kyrie Robinson, who, in my opinion, should be our main back. But you've got 3 guys like that in the backfield, could be dangerous. We'll see what happens with Jimmy Graham in those contract talks. Sproles, we know, has requested to be released. But will be a business pawn, and we'll probably get something nice out of it.
Yeah, exactly, Ryan. You're spot on that. But that's all the time we got for this week. But next week, we have a milestone.
Number 30.
Number 30. It will indeed be our 1-hour March Madness special. Ron and I are going to go through the entire bracket.
All 34 games.
Oh, yeah.
68 teams, 34 games, one national champion.
Actually, 67.
67?
Yeah.
How's it an odd number?
It's always one less number than the amount of teams.
Oh. So it's 33 games. 33 games is 68 teams.
67 games. 68 teams, 67 games.
Whatever. He's the numbers guy. I'm just second place in numbers.
The more you know, America.
But can we get the rainbow right here?
yeah, exactly. But that's irrelevant. All I know is we have a 1 hour special next week. It's going to be fun. And it'll also be interesting to see where LSU basketball ends up. More than likely the NIT, unless they pull a Jimmy Valvano survive an advanced type of SEC tournament. But
got to beat Bama first.
At least beat Bama. That's all I'm asking.
We beat Bama. We move on to play either the winner of Georgia and Ole Miss.
Well, they'd play Kentucky first.
Oh, you play Kentucky? Yeah, you're right.
Then we'd play, most likely the winner of Georgia and Ole Miss if they somehow survive the first 2 days. Then after that, you're probably going to play Florida.
Yeah. Florida had a perfect conference record this year at 18-0, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're your number one team in the nation for a reason.
They're definitely a national title contender for sure.
But we're running out of sunlight. We're running out of time. Go Bear, anything else for the folks?
No. Just other than the usual.
Good night,
Good night, America.